In January 2025, the transfer of power brought a unified government with a clear, aggressive mandate. The coalition that delivered this victory, driven largely by working-class and Latino voters, was promised immediate relief. The pitch to them was simple and direct: lower prices at the grocery store, cheaper gas, and a domestic focus that would insulate the American wallet from global chaos. Look at this line chart. It tracks the administration's approval rating from Inauguration Day down to March 2026. In barely 14 months, public support craters to 36%. The frustration driving that drop is directly tied to the cost of living. Gasoline has surged past $4 a gallon, with diesel approaching $7. At home, 2/3 of Americans report their monthly utility bills are suddenly spiking. A victorious political coalition unraveled into a full-blown economic crisis in just over a year. To understand exactly how that happened, we have to look at a narrow strip of water 7,000 miles away, the Strait of Hormuz. Before the foreign policy shocks hit, the domestic agenda moved at breakneck speed. By early 2025, sweeping tariffs were levied on billions of dollars of goods, targeting both trade adversaries and close allies like Canada and Mexico. Simultaneously, tens of thousands of federal workers were pushed out or fired as the administration rapidly moved to restructure the government workforce. Then came the rapid expansion of immigration enforcement. Heavily armed ICE units began sweeps through major cities across the country. During the campaign, these operations were billed strictly as targeted removals of violent criminals. In practice, the sweeps detained long-time residents and integrated community members who had no criminal records whatsoever. The swift passage of the Laken Riley Act followed, alongside formal preparations to retrofit facilities like Guantanamo Bay into mass detention camps for migrants. These unyielding domestic crackdowns sowed deep distrust. Before international markets went haywire, the aggressive execution of these policies was already fracturing the working class and Latino coalition that voted them into power. The promised isolationism, the idea of keeping America out of foreign conflicts, evaporated in early 2026. On February 28th, the United States and Israel launched a massive, coordinated military campaign directly against Iran, striking critical targets across the country. The strike successfully executed the high-stakes assassination of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. In immediate response, Iran's Revolutionary Guard vowed a devastating retaliation, launching waves of missile and drone strikes targeting Israel and U.S. military bases in the Gulf. This map shows Iran's most destructive move. They weaponized geography by closing the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow maritime choke point connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. Severing those trade routes instantly blocks 27% of the entire global seaborne crude oil trade. Cutting off more than a quarter of the world's oil supply turned a localized military escalation into an unavoidable global energy crisis. The market reaction was violent. With shipping paralyzed and regional refineries targeted in the crossfire, the cost of Brent crude oil rapidly spiked toward $120 a barrel. This visualization illustrates the trap known as stagflation. The energy shock creates a brutal feedback loop. Skyrocketing fuel prices drive up the cost of manufacturing, shipping, and household electricity, pushing inflation higher. At the exact same time, those extreme costs squeeze consumer purchasing power, grinding broader economic growth to a halt. The pain of this crisis is completely asymmetrical. While ordinary households drain their savings to pay for basic groceries and keep the lights on, major fossil fuel companies are absorbing the price surge, pocketing over $100 billion in windfall profits. The administration's foreign policy gambles directly enriched massive energy conglomerates, while forcing everyday Americans to foot the bill at the pump and the thermostat. Back home, the political fallout is materializing fast. The combination of broken economic promises, surging utility bills, and unexpected military overreach has shattered the illusion of an America-first prosperity for working-class voters. We are already seeing undeniable proof at the ballot box. Recent special elections in New Jersey, Virginia, and the Texas primaries have all shown massive swings in voter turnout and preference. Latino voters, the exact demographic that secured the 2024 victory, are abruptly swinging back to the Democrats. They are using their votes to punish the ruling party for the economic pain and the overzealous community crackdowns. The polling reflects the same reality. With the 2026 midterms looming, 63% of Americans now view the economy as weak. In an interconnected global economy, aggressive isolationism fails to wall off the domestic wallet. Geopolitical hubris moves from the theater of war to the kitchen table, ending with a material cost at the ballot box.